Hi, I'm Milesy, and I'm here with my friend Mary. You guys all know her. You can say hi,
Hi.
Mary. There she is. We're doing things a little bit different. She doesn't have a face cam right now because she's been busy and didn't feel like learning how to set it up on her own. Hopefully, this will work for me. I've got about 800 wires going around, so hopefully it's not too awkward. But yeah, Mary's been busy camping. She can tell us about that if she wants to.
I will after, I don't know, talk about something else first.
Talk about something else. Well, Oregon's on fire. Let's talk about that.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So, yeah, if you follow me on Tumblr, you've probably seen that Oregon is freaking on fire. And that, in and of itself, is kind of nothing new. The problem in this situation is that some 15-year-old little edgelord threw a firecracker off a cliff at a state park in the middle of a drought, and now parts of the outlying areas of Portland are under evacuation notice.
Yeah, like the far out suburbs of East Multnomah County are under a level 1 evac notice, which means get your shit ready to go. You don't have to go yet, but get your shit ready to go.
Yeah, and then level 2 is if you want to leave, now's the time to do it, and level 3 is basically get the fuck out right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes me really glad that I don't live that far east anymore.
Yeah, you're what? You're down in Southeast now, aren't you?
I'm in Southeast, almost near Milwaukee, and I used to be in Central Gresham.
Which is right on the edge of the current evac area.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were just a couple of blocks, I think, from where they drew the line.
I was about 30 blocks west of where the current evac
Oh, you were that far away?
is. Yeah.
Well, all I know is that they've been telling people out from Cascade Locks to go to Mount Hood Community College, and whoops, that's in the evac zone now.
Yeah, that's right on the wrong side of the evac zone. Because the evac zone is now Troutdale to 157th, and I used to live off of 223rd. But the fact that it's even that close is creepy.
Yeah. Like, what are you supposed to do with 3 million people?
Yeah.
Which is exactly the situation that Houston was in last week. How the hell do you possibly evacuate this many people?
Yeah.
You just don't.
Well, I'm looking at the Oregon Live real-time wildfires map.
Oh boy.
And it shows the fire, and
does it actually show the one on this side of the river? Because I couldn't find any that did.
it doesn't. I haven't heard anything about, like, the fire jumped the Columbia River, so part of it's in Washington now. I haven't heard anything about that.
I know that there's a level 2 evac, and in some areas level 3 on this side.
I was hoping that they, since they were keeping an eye on it, that maybe they had, been able to contain it on that side.
No, last I heard, the whole damn thing's 0% contained. But that was a couple of hours ago.
Poop.
Yeah.
So the fire itself is, extreme danger. Then the whole area up to probably, like Springdale, it looks like, is very high danger.
Oh, Jesus.
Springdale, Troutdale, Gresham, Fairview, Bird Village, all that stuff is high danger. And then Portland itself and Vancouver appear to be moderate danger.
And I feel like I should point out, Troutdale sounds like it's out in the sticks. Troutdale has one of Portland's biggest community colleges. It has, 34,000 people in its entire area?
Mm-hmm.
Troutdale ain't in the sticks. It's a suburb of Portland with a really stupid name.
Yeah.
Kind of like Beaverton sounds like it's some stupid little hick town. Nope, Beaverton's huge.
Yep.
So, yeah. It's not just, people out there on farms with horses and, ranches out there. It's actual cities that are in danger.
I mean, when all this shit's over, it'll be interesting to go out to Crown Point and see how the views changed.
Yeah, like that real Pollyanna post on Facebook really rubbed me the wrong way, especially once I saw it myself.
Mm-hmm.
So there was this post on Facebook saying, like, well, we need to remember that back in 1991, the same area was, had a fire and it recovered, and we need to, and there will be wildflowers to look at and you'll have whole different views. And it's like, the one in 91 was natural. That's not what people are upset about. People are upset that some 15-year-old edgelord threw a firecracker into the dry brush. That's why people are upset.
And when did this even happen?
He did that on Saturday.
I forget when this happened yesterday. Oh, Saturday.
Yeah, it happened Saturday.
Like, it just fucking went up.
Yeah, it went up. It just flashed fire, trapped 150 people on the mountain, more than 150 people. They had to stay there overnight, and amazingly, only one person had to go to the hospital just for a bit of dehydration and exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nobody was hurt, which was amazing.
I mean, I was camping, so I didn't really hear the stuff about the beginning of the fire. I saw a few headlines on Facebook, but I didn't go hunting for information.
But yeah, so we were talking earlier that if it does make it up this way, which I really don't think it will, if it gets up this way, it's going to be the end of the world. Let's be honest. Because that would be an enormous fire that would destroy pretty much everything if it got that big.
Yeah.
But if it did come to that and we got the evac notice, it would have already gone through Portland and Vancouver. We would have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And there's already fires up by Seattle. There's already fires up by Olympia.
Mm-hmm. And then where I was camping down in, I don't know if it actually counts as Central Oregon, but down south, when we were leaving the site, we were getting tons of smoke from the stuff down there. And then we drove north and hit Portland, and it's like, oh shit. There's all this crap up here, too.
The sky was so freaky today.
Mm-hmm. And the moon's been red.
Ooh, I haven't seen the moon, and it's right out my bedroom window. I'll have to look tonight.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's beautiful, but obviously also pretty fucking frightening. Yeah.
Oh boy.
So the area where I was camping is the very high color on the map.
Oh jeez.
For smoke and stuff. The smoke wasn't awful all weekend, but it was getting worse as things went on.
Yeah, it's been ridiculous. I went outside earlier today to go film like this 5-minute live stream just to kind of show people what it's like, because I am not in Portland. I'm about an hour outside of Portland to the northwest, which is about, I'd say, a good hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending on traffic, from where the fire is. And the sky is still bright orange. The sun is still really red and scary. Spider webs are all full of ash.
Yeah. It looks post-apocalyptic.
It does. That's an apocalypse sky. It really is.
Yeah.
The last time I saw a sky like this, have I got my freaking... No, I don't. But no, the last time I saw a sky like this was when St. Helens erupted in 2004. That's the last time I saw a sky like this. And I was not alive for the 1980 eruption, but people older than me have been saying that the amount of ash falling from the sky is reminiscent of that.
The fact that there is this amount of ash is pretty disturbing.
Yeah.
Like it looks like it tried to snow, kind of, on the ground.
It does. All the cars are so nasty. And then the fire department are telling people not to wipe it off because you'll damage your car.
At the same time, if it gets mixed with rain, it'll, eat your paint and shit.
Well, at least that'll be quick. So, yeah, they're saying go to a car wash.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear a kitty.
I can't hear much of anything because I have headphones and a fan.
I can hear your fan.
I know.
Yeah, that is the one kind of saving
grace,
grace,
and you can probably hear my kitty.
I can hear your kitty. But I think that is weirdly the one saving grace is that we did not hit the triple-digit temperatures we were supposed to hit this weekend because there's too much smoke and ash in the sky.
Yeah, that was the one good thing about the last day of camping when we were tearing down camp. It wasn't 100 degrees. It was hot and muggy, but it wasn't 100 fucking degrees.
Which, down in Lebanon at this time of year, not being 100 degrees is kind of rare.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh my god.
I forget, have you been to Lebanon?
I've probably been down there.
Okay.
I mean, we used to do a lot of camping when I was a kid.
Okay.
And the amount of camping we used to do as a kid pretty much extended to we had a dedicated spot at a campsite.
Mm-hmm.
And we were kind of that family that if we rolled up and someone was in our campsite, the rangers would make them move. That was how much money we spent at these campgrounds every year, that we were kind of preferred status. Mm-hmm. We got those 2 spots by the lake.
Mm.
So we did a lot of camping, and at the time I thought it was really cool. The rangers would go make other people move.
Mm-hmm.
But as an adult, I'm like, wow, that was kind of dickish.
A little bit.
But then again, summer up here summer break lasts, 2 or 3 months just about?
Mm-hmm.
We'd spend a good month and a half out there at the campsite. Yeah, we spent a lot of money at the campsite.
Mm-hmm.
It meant we didn't get an allowance, really, or anything else for the rest of the year because we went camping all summer.
Okay. Interesting.
And then we'd go out to White River. We'd do a lot of camping out there. We'd go camping at Prineville. We used to go camping up at Bonneville a few times during the salmon run so that my grandpa and my uncle could go do some fishing, and then we'd swim in the ponds on the other side of 84.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's some surprisingly good camping right off of 84. You can see the cars and you can wave your hand and the semis will honk at you.
Interesting.
It's probably not nice now, 20 years later,
mm-hmm.
but in the 90s, it was a great place to go camping.
Cool. I did not know that. My family was never a camping family.
We had 5 kids. You think we were going to sit in the house all summer in a 2-bedroom house?
No.
Yeah, our rule wasn't be home when the streetlights came on. It was come home when the streetlights came on.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember one time we were camping. I might have told this story before. But we had convinced my cousin that there was this monster in the lake.
Mm-hmm.
Because my cousin was not a fun person to camp with. He was kind of a chode. Nobody, even my dad got really sick of having him there. So we convinced him that there was a monster out in the lake, and that the seaweed was the monster's hair, and you didn't want to pull the hair out because it would really piss off the monster.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, he believed that.
Was he older than you guys, or the same age?
No, this is Josh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is Josh. So he was it was kind of that you could tell he was believing us, but he was wanting to pretend that he didn't believe us. That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad, of course, he heard it, and he thought it would be fun to participate in the mayhem. What am I doing? There we are. And there just happened to be, that first night we were there, a big old windstorm.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're all in our tent freaking out because of the wind. Oh, it's the Rock Creek monster. Someone pulled his hair and he's angry. And Josh is like, nuh-uh, there's no monster. There's no such thing as a monster. And then my dad was obviously listening to us because he came over and like picked up the tent with us in it and shook it around and made all sorts of Bigfoot noises, which I think you've met my dad. He looks like Bigfoot.
I have not met your dad.
I'm surprised you've not met my dad. You will this weekend. He looks like Bigfoot.
Okay.
So, you know, he does a very good, very convincing Bigfoot. And he looks like the Bigfoot from Harry and the Hendersons.
Oh, I love that movie.
That's the Bigfoot my dad looks like.
That's the best movie.
So, that was all it took to convince Josh that there was a monster in the lake.
Mm-hmm.
So we go out there the next day after the storm, and like it blew up all this crap from in the lake and around the lake, and there was the campsite on one side of the lake, and then the other side were private houses. Mm-hmm. So like there was like little kids' shoes and all this weird crap all over the side of the lake that just got blown in from their backyards. Mm-hmm. And we're like, oh look, there's a shoe that was, you know, the Rock Creek monster, he ate someone, and Josh was like, no, there's no monster. And so we went out onto the lake in a raft, big rubber raft. Mm-hmm. And again, this is the 90s when kids were allowed to just put 8 of you in a raft together and go out on the lake alone with no adults. That was acceptable back then, and that's what we did, because it was me, 2 of my brothers, my sister, Josh, and then cousins from the other side of the family. It was a big ordeal. So a whole bunch of us in the raft together, and we did at least wear life jackets. Mm-hmm. That was one of the things, that if you were going to go out beyond waist level, you had to wear a life jacket, and we did that. We were good at that. Mm-hmm. So we go out there, and we had this anchor that was a coffee can full of cement with some rebar pushed through it. That was our anchor, and Rock Creek Reservoir is crazy deep. Mm-hmm. It is amazingly deep. So we have this anchor on a 30-foot rope, and we threw it off thinking, yeah, this'll reach the bottom. Lol, not.
Oops.
Except it got caught on my brother Billy's life jacket and took him with it.
Oh shit.
Because it's a coffee can full of cement. So my cousin Adam tossed it over and accidentally tossed Billy over, and he's got his life jacket on, so it's like pulling him down, but he also can't get out of the water, so it's all screwed up, and so he's freaking out, and we're laughing at him because, you know, we're like, 10 years old. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
And he's freaking out. We're like, oh no, the monster's got him. You can see his hair. And Josh is freaking out so badly that he jumped out of the raft and started swimming back to camp.
Oh, Jesus.
And then Billy had it figured out. He knew exactly what was going on, and he took off his life jacket, and up to the surface he came. So, he had the presence of mind to do that while we were all being horrible to Josh. And so he was all freaking out, and we're just nerping out there together on the lake without Josh, because he swam back all on his own like a weirdo. Mm-hmm. And Billy just started getting really rowdy and rambunctious, and we weren't liking that at all. So we kicked him out. And we had an inner tube with us, so we threw the inner tube over and tied it to the back of the raft, and we said, you stay back there. And so he got in the inner tube and just started pulling himself back to the raft, so we untied him.
Oh.
And then we left him out there, and we went back to camp. And so we get there, and my dad's like, where's Billy? And we point out there, and he's out there, Dad, help me! And the wind's starting to pick up again, and he's out in the middle of the lake in an inner tube, trying to get back, because he didn't want to leave the inner tube, so my dad had to go out there and rescue him.
What a bunch of little assholes.
We were a bunch of little assholes. We were the kids that no one else in the neighborhood was allowed to play with.
Wow.
But that was, yeah, we would spend an entire summer just doing crap like that. So, you could imagine our frustration when they got a new ranger at the campsite.
Yeah.
And who just, decided that he needed to enforce all of the rules super strictly, and it's like, bro, we've been coming here for like 5 years. These ain't the rules, and we know it, and you know it. Mm-hmm. And he had like this big smoky bear hat, and he totally thought he was tough shit. And we decided that his name, we just kind of right there decided, his name is Ranger Dick. I've got lost somewhere. So we started making up this song about Ranger Dick, and made a point to sing it at him every time he came by.
Oh, God. What horrible children.
We were awful children. There we go. So yeah, that was kind of how all of my summers were spent, and I never remember a summer where the sky was red.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, something is still off. Oh, because I'm not supposed to do that yet. Ah.
I can't see. What are you stitching?
I am stitching the horses.
Okay.
And I forgot how to count.
That's not helpful.
No, it's not. There we go. I assume you're still stitching superhero crotch?
Yep.
Oh boy.
I didn't get much done while camping, so I'm still olive the gray forever.
You were so excited to be done with the gray.
Well, I mean, once I start working on it more again, I will be done with the gray soon. It was too fucking hot, and I forgot, not so great working on cross-stitch when you're really, really sweaty.
Yeah. So tell us about camping. How did that go? I've heard some of this, but I haven't.
So I went pirate camping at the adults-only pirate festival called Tortuga down in Lebanon, Oregon. Hello to any pirate fans watching the channel.
Yarr.
That would be hilarious if there actually was some.
Don't do this. There we go.
And so it's the second pirate festival of the summer at that location. The first one is called Sea Dog Nights, and has kids, and that was in late July, and we maxed out the site capacity at 3,000 people. Since Tortuga is adults only, I think there was only about 2,000. And obviously without all the kids, it's a little calmer. It's also a lot more naked.
I've seen some of the pictures. It was very naked. I don't think you showed me a single picture with someone with their clothes on.
Yeah, well, it was actually funny because there was a post in the Facebook group afterwards about how calm this Tortuga was, and how people were disappointed that it didn't live up to their expectations. And the event is billed as an adults-only pirate immersion event. And in Oregon, public nudity is legal as long as you're not,
erect or dripping is pretty much the way I've heard it boiled down to. You can't be erect or dripping.
And so, there's warnings on the webpage and stuff like, there will be public nudity. It's a thing that happens. It's hot. They're pirates. Boobs are going to happen.
Drink up me hearties, yo-ho.
Pretty much. So there's that. But a lot of people who hear about Tortuga by word of mouth, it gets billed to them as a kink and sex event.
Awkward.
Which there's a lot of overlap between this pirating group and the, kink and BDSM community. So that is a thing that happens, but that's not officially part of the event. So it was interesting seeing a bunch of people complain about, it's not as kinky and, as it has been in the past and stuff. And it's like, that if you happen to see public sex, that wasn't supposed to happen, right? Like, that's illegal. Even though it's a private event, it's on public land. That's illegal. Keep it in your encampment. Like, apparently, I didn't see it. I heard about it afterwards. Someone was doing along one of the roads.
Okay.
Within the event site.
Okay.
Maybe put a content warning on this podcast.
I might bleep that out.
So, it's like, wait, if you shouldn't be seeing public sex, that should be in an encampment.
That's illegal.
Balls. Yeah. But it was really fun. I go with my friend who's a vendor, and I help in her booth, and she does jewelry, mostly copper, but some nickel, silver, and steel. She has an anvil and beats the shit out of wire. We also do drinking horns and hats and feathers and a little bit of a lot of things.
And they take some of my catalogs and stuff too.
Because I use some of the variegated floss on my embroidery stuff.
So it makes sense.
So we do that during the day, and then at night there's like parties and stuff, and especially at Tortuga, the whole point is Saturday is the big party night, and there's this thing called the party wedge, or the party wedges. And the idea is that I think there's like 7 or 8 houses or ships that are vying to win the royalty election. Because, this is related to SCA events. So there's like royalty and nobility and knights and shit. And the royalty...
And is Keira Knightley your king?
No. Although the pirate royalty are gender swapped. So the king is a woman and the queen is a man.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So the party wedge, each house has a party space, and you're trying to buy someone's vote with free booze and whatever else is going on at your party. So that's kind of the whole point of the event, or that's like the theme or whatever. So that's what goes on Saturday night. And Friday and Sunday nights, there's other parties and stuff. We went and wandered around Saturday night, and I got a couple pieces of 8, which are party tokens. You have weird background noise.
Yeah, Ryan was asking if we were out of potatoes, and I had to tell him that yes, I had to throw them away because 1, they got dishwasher water all over them, and 2, they had sprouted anyway.
Ew.
Yeah, he don't want them potatoes.
No. So the election things happen. I got some pieces of 8. It's fun. You get to dress up and shit, although most people left that for the evenings because it was like 99 or 100 degrees every day. It was very nice to come home to real toilets. I'm
still sorry that my bathtub was a mess and my apartment reeked.
Oh, it was... honestly, it didn't smell that much. Because the toilets there are porta potties, which are really hard to do anyway, but especially in skirts and a bodice with boning.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Not fun.
So, yeah, she came to my place. She didn't go home. She came to my place after she went camping. And
my friend was driving to Olympia anyway, so...
Yeah, so... She came up here to just, say hi and chill out, and that was fun. Except that was the day my dishwasher chose to explode in my face. So it had stopped draining, and it was really pissing me off. So I went in there to go figure it out, and somehow I managed to turn it on with the door open, which you're not supposed to be able to do, but I did it because I'm fucking magic. So that was a thing. And so I'm like, oh, hey, that shouldn't be happening. And then the jets started going, and I got jets full of nasty standing dishwasher water in my face and all over the kitchen. And oh my god, I've never run to the shower so fast in my life. That was nasty. So we had every single towel in the house cleaning up the kitchen. Not a single clean towel was left. And, the thing is that we don't have an in-unit washer and dryer, and we don't really feel like spending the money to wash our clothes when we're already paying for rent, water, and electricity and all that other stuff. I refuse to pay for that. So we have a dorm washer, which are these little portable washer dryer units. They cost about $80 on Amazon, which is about what we'd be spending a month if we did the laundry downstairs, so screw that. And it's nice. It will wash your clothes, it will dry your clothes, not completely dry, we just wind up hang drying them afterwards. Except I somehow managed to Hulk hand off the lid, and it won't, the spinner and the dryer won't work because it's going at like 2,000 RPM and you don't want your fingers in there. So if the lid's open, it won't go. So I Hulk handed off the lid, so we only have a washing machine now. We have no dryer, and all of the towels are gross and disgusting, so she got to take a shower, but she didn't have a towel.
I used a moistest towel. It got the worst of the water off.
Oh, so I should address something. I've been posting some pictures and stuff on Instagram lately of just stuff that I've been working on. And a lot of you guys have been asking about one of my needle minders, and not Thor right here, not him. I've got one, I don't have it in this room, it's in the other room, that is a goat. And people have been asking me about that pin, or about that needle minder, and I would, you know, tell them that, well, it was this, it used to be like an actual pin, like a badge, that I got for helping or contributing to a fundraiser for the Hauafelk goat farm in Iceland. And that farm is kind of a big deal because it houses the majority of the population of the Icelandic goat, which is an endangered species. Except for the fact that it's a domestic species, so the Endangered Species Act doesn't apply. Which is kind of important because that farm was being foreclosed upon. And if that would have happened, then all of the animals on the farm would have been slaughtered. For, I don't know, whatever stupid bullshit reason. And when I heard about this, I was like, oh, hell no. So I donated to the fundraiser to help these poor goats because, oh my god, you know, I kind of love goats, and like hell am I not going to contribute to a fundraiser for a beautiful endangered goat species. And people have been, you know, asking about the pin that I got for contributing to it. Just this tiny little pin. Nothing special. And nobody ever really seemed very satisfied with the answer that I gave, and I didn't really realize why. And then it occurred to me that the reason nobody really seemed satisfied when I was watching Game of Thrones the other night. And I noticed that the goat pin is the it's the House Stark sigil, but with a goat head. Which makes perfect sense because the only reason that fundraiser was successful was because those goats were famous. Every time you saw Drogon or anybody else with a goat, it was one of the Hauafelk goats from the farm. What the hell am I doing? I'm so lost.
Way to be lost.
I'm always lost. So, yeah, like, if you were wondering about the goat and why it looked like a Game of Thrones thing, it was probably deliberate. In fact, I'm almost 100% positive that it was, even though the goats had nothing to do with House Stark. So, yeah. But that's the pin. That's the story of the pin. And I just never really used it as a pin because I didn't want it to get lost. So instead I glued some magnets to it and made it a needle minder.
And needle minders are awesome.
They are awesome. Oh, remind me, when we're down there for Snark Day, or if you could ask her to bring one, I don't know, maybe she'll bring one anyway, since she did last year. I want to take a look at some of Alex's buttons.
Okay.
Because I want to see if I could do the same thing with them, because she has got some nice buttons.
Okay.
And I asked online, but I wasn't quite sure if she really understood what I was asking, so.
Okay.
We have this friend, Alex. She's a witch. She's really cool. She owns her own button manufacturing business.
Yeah, and she's really awesome. She'll do custom buttons. and it's, you know, a woman-owned small business. Yeah, she's just my awesome friend.
And she has an army of crows.
Yes.
Just quite literally an army of crows.
They call her the Peanut Lady because she feeds them peanuts. There's a family of crows that live by her house, and they keep having babies. So then she has annoying baby crows because even when they're mostly grown up, they still ask their parents to do everything for them. And like squawk annoyingly. So
adorable.
Yeah.
Oh, the tape is coming off and it's pulling on my arm hair.
Ow.
Yeah, my frame was a little too small. I couldn't find the right bars, so I had to tape the edges. Oh, I think we're having some audio problem.
No.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Hello?
You're kind of there. Are you on fire? Oh dear God, that's a very real possibility. What if the fire takes out the fiber optics? Well, Mary's on fire.
You were kind of cutting out a little there.
Yeah, so were you.
I'm not.
You're very cutting out.
You just got digital sounding, so you're the one on fire.
I think we're both on fire. We're just gonna wait this
Being
out.
on fire is less painful than I imagined.
Oh God, so the newspaper up here in Longview is being incredibly sarcastic today, and I loved it. Because I don't think I would be able to cope if all of the news were doom and gloom.
Yeah.
Like, I just wouldn't. And so, you know, Longview local news, they understand this, and they were making volcano jokes all day, and I appreciated that.
Nice. Nice.
So, yeah, we live in a geological death trap.
Yep.
That is pretty much the only way to put it. There are, 80 active volcanoes around that number in Oregon, about 30 in Washington. Plus, we live on a subduction zone.
We're gonna die in the earthquake.
Yeah, no, a couple of years ago, the USGS very quietly upgraded the entire Cascade Range to active. And didn't tell anybody. Including Newbury, Mazama, aka Crater Lake. Everything is now classified as active.
I forget, when did news about the big ones start becoming a thing again?
I think I started hearing about Cascadia in high school, so probably about 15 years ago.
But I feel like recently, like, it wasn't a thing. Oh God, we're all gonna die!
Yeah, like, I heard a little bit about it in high school, and then, like, it wasn't until the last couple of years that people were really taking it seriously.
Yeah.
And I don't know what changed.
Yeah.
Well, you know how they found the subduction zone, don't you?
No.
Oh my God, this is amazing. So...
Science isn't my strong point.
I fucking watch way too goddamn many documentaries. But, so this dude was actually doing a thing on tsunamis. And he couldn't figure out why a bunch of trees up in Puget Sound were dead. And, like, not just dead, like, petrified dead. Those trees have been dead for hundreds of years. And he couldn't figure that out. And so he went to the only reliable source he could think of. He looked up Chinook folklore to see, well, what are they talking about? And the Chinook and the neighboring tribes, all these people up here, have these stories about how Mother Earth just got super pissed off at somebody and just threw a conniption fit, and she heaved herself up into the air, and then she heaved the sea up and she drowned everybody. And he's going, what in the hell does that mean? So he's like, well, okay, that's not really making any sense without context, because folklore never does. That's just what folklore is. Weird until you get the context. So he figured, Japan's pretty reliable. Let's go talk to Japan. So he was going through a lot of the tsunami records in Japanese coastal villages. Because they keep tsunami records, and they have for centuries.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty
where
much
the word fucking comes from.
Yeah. So he found that they have two different kinds of tsunamis. Ones that come after an earthquake, and ones that just show up out of nowhere and decimate you for no reason. And they call those orphan tsunamis. And he's like, huh, that's interesting. So he goes back to the Chinook folklore, and it's all oral tradition, nothing's written down, but a lot of the villages can pinpoint specific ancestors that knew that it happened to. And it was very specific, and it was all very, what's the word I'm looking for? Corroborated between villages. You know, my great-great-great-great-grandma says this, and my great-great-great-great-grandpa says that, and it was kind of starting to get weird, so he started looking into the actual beach itself and was cutting out swatches, and he could actually see where there was evidence of the sea rising and falling. And through dating it, he realized that it was the same dates as the orphan tsunamis in Japan. And so he's like, well, there weren't any earthquakes in Japan, and they record that stuff. And the Chinook people are talking about how Mother Earth just threw a conniption fit and threw everything into the air, so the earthquake must have been here. And that's how they found the Cascadia subduction zone. And that was only recently.
Isn't Chinook just the language and not actually a nation?
I'm not sure. I thought it was a nation. I don't know.
Okay. I think it's a pidgin language.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Either way, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
There are 100 different tribes over here, and I don't know what the general word for it is.
Yeah.
And
I was just being nitpicky.
Oh, fine, do that. But yeah, that's how they found it, because one guy decided to go figure out why a bunch of trees on the coast were dead.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Awkward silence.
Awkward silence.
Stitching.
Yeah,
well, because we're both stitching.
Yeah. Well, and then, Seaside, which is my husband and I's, that's our honeymoon spot, and we go there to vacation every few years. If we're there when the tsunami hits and the earthquake, basically, if you're on the wrong side of the river, you're dead. There is no way to get across those bridges, because they weren't meant for earthquakes, because when they were built, we didn't know we had earthquakes here.
Yeah.
So anybody on the beach when it hits is not going to survive. You cannot get to high ground because there's a river in your way.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that?
Well, I was going to say, I just super confused myself where I was stitching, because I'm stitching right next to a finished section.
Oh, I hate
but
that.
I can't see the finished section on my chart. So I was like, wait, I already did those stitches? That doesn't look right. I'm smart.
There is a village somewhere in Indonesia.
Okay.
Sounds about right. Called Jackie Chan Village.
Oh, I think I heard about this.
Yeah, I think I told you about this. Because after the 2004 tsunami, 234, he heard that there was just no tsunami proofing for these people out there. And that's why there were so many casualties, because the houses just weren't built to sustain it. All the houses were on low ground, and it's what killed a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So he took a lot of his own money and built a village. And the locals call it Jackie Chan Village.
That's neat.
Yeah. Jackie Chan's amazing.
I like it when people do good things.
I like Jackie Chan.
Well, that reminds me of what he was getting, like a lifetime achievement award or something, and like all the folks from his original stunt group came on stage, or everyone who had ever been in his stunt group came on stage.
Aw.
But they were getting behind him, so he didn't know they were there. And then he like turned around and started crying, like tearing up and stuff. And then they were talking about how, like, yeah, I mean, like, when one of them, you know, their cars died and stuff, and their family couldn't do stuff, like, he gave them money for a car, and just, like, how good of a person he is.
I still love that he was Shang in Mulan in the Chinese version.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Because apparently the man can really sing.
Interesting.
But instead, he chooses to get beaten up for a living.
Yes.
It really disappoints me that there aren't more Jackie Chan movies on Netflix.
Well, Netflix is always disappointing.
Yeah, I remember when it first came out, it was the most amazing thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, just as it goes, every year, it's like, why don't you have this? I want to watch this. What's wrong with you? What am I paying you for? But I love Amazon's a la carte subscription service. But no, you can subscribe to a TV show or a TV channel for $10 a month.
Oh, and that's where you got the hot HBO?
Yeah, that's where I've got HBO.
Okay.
But pretty much from what I can tell, what people wind up doing is they'll subscribe to HBO for a couple of months because that's where their show's on, and then their next show will be on this other channel, so they'll just kind of roll through the channels like that. Which, let's be real, is exactly how it should be, because if you ain't watching the channel, why the hell should you be paying for it?
Yeah. Agreed.
But I was looking into it. Apparently the reason why cable TV doesn't do that is because it will hurt the niche channels. Mm-hmm. Which I can see where they're coming from. But if anything, YouTube has showed us that this is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
If people want to watch it, they will watch it. There are some weird channels out there with millions and millions of subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, why does anybody subscribe to How to Basic? Why is that on my subscription feed? That channel contributes nothing to society, yet it's the funniest thing out there.
I don't know. I don't watch that one.
Oh my god, I need to show you How to Basic then. Because it's just how to, like, I can't even think of a specific example. Like how to clean an oven, how to stuff a turkey. Just how to do basic things. And it contributes nothing to society, but it's amazing.
Does it not actually show you how to do things?
Oh god, no.
Maybe you have shown me a video from that.
It has a lot of eggs.
Is there a robot?
No, that's You Suck at Cooking.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I saw You Suck at Cooking.
And Pim Blockdo is only in a few episodes.
Ah.
He got kicked out of the house recently, and I was so sad.
Aww.
But he keeps ruining things, so he got kicked out.
Wait, the person or the robot?
The robot.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, the robot is called Pim Blockdo.
Okay.
And he's useless. As you've seen.
YouTube is your fandom, not mine.
Love YouTube.
Oh, I know you do.
4.
No, 15.
No, don't do that. I'm counting you, bitch.
15, 28, 36, 19.
That's a good way to get punched.
Good thing I'm not actually near you.
No, we were gonna do that, but we decided we were tired.
And I had to leave too soon.
Okay. I really, really love that she went to Rainier instead of here. I don't know why that makes me laugh so much.
Wait, what?
I don't know why it makes me laugh that she went to Rainier.
Who did?
Your mom.
Oh. Because I left her a message saying, oh, hey, I'm going to stay with Miles. You should pick me up there. And she, I don't know, she just didn't listen to the message or what. And I guess I didn't mention it again because I didn't talk to her that much while I was gone. So, you know, she was texting me that she was getting close, and she's like, I'm entering Longview. And it's like, oh, okay, you'll be here in a few minutes. And then she says, I'm here. So we bring all my shit down from the apartment, and we don't see her on the road anywhere. So I call her, and I'm like, where are you? Oh, I'm on the front porch. You're at the wrong place. There is no front porch.
I'm on the 3rd floor.
Yeah. So then we just loitered on the stairs until she got there. Luckily, it doesn't take that long to get across.
Yeah, except for when the bridge is being stupid.
Which, it's at a different time of day every time I'm there. I swear. And but it's from, like, the merging of, you know, 30 in both directions, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, why would you have a 2-lane bridge coming off of a 4-lane highway?
Because Longview and Rainier.
Well, 15 is technically a highway too, and that's 4 lanes.
That's true. I don't know.
No, it's just the city planning in this city is so stupid.
Mm-hmm. I have a request for next time I'm up.
Oh.
And Ryan has a day off.
Oh.
I want to go see the Squirrel Bridge.
Okay.
It's
actually not that far from here. We could walk there.
Tell them about the Squirrel Bridge.
There's a Squirrel Bridge. I don't actually know anything about it. It's a bridge for squirrels to cross because Longview is obsessed with squirrels. We have a squirrel festival.
It just sounds awesome.
It's a squirrel. I don't really know anything about it. My mom wanted me to go vend at the squirrel festival, and I kept trying to tell her it's not that kind of festival. It's really not that. No, it's literally a festival about squirrels. You go and look at stuffed squirrels. I'm not gonna go vend at the squirrel festival.
Sounds kind of fun for attending, though.
Yeah, I'd go to it. I'm just not gonna vend at it. I'm not gonna vend at no squirrel festival.
But you could make, like, a squirrel-related floss and a squirrel kit.
No.
Aw, you're no fun.
I had enough stress getting into this one in December.
True. Well, also, you don't like squirrels because they pee in your apartment.
Yeah, and they try to give me the plague.
Have you told that story?
Probably, but yeah, when I first moved in to this place, it was just me here for a long time. My husband was still living down in Vancouver because of complicated, stupid reasons that I don't really want to go into right now.
Yay, complicated, stupid reasons.
Yeah, but anyway, I was living up here by myself for about 2 or 3 months. And I was heading out to go do some grocery shopping across the street at Safeway. And I opened the front door, and there's a squirrel right outside my door looking up at me through the screen door. And I'm like, oh, hey, hi, you're cute, go away. And I opened up the screen door, assuming he would get scared and run away. No, he ran straight into my apartment and peed on my carpet.
Oh, God, it's still funny.
So, yeah, that was my adventures with trying not to get the plague. Did I tell you my grandma got bit by a chipmunk?
No.
Yeah, and I told her, go to the doctor, you're gonna get the plague. Because, for those who don't know, we get 2 or 3 cases a year up here in Washington, and the same in Oregon, of the plague every year.
Because it's a rodent plague.
Yep.
Or it's a rodent flea plague.
Yeah, it comes from the fleas on the rodents.
Why pestis? I read a book about that recently.
Oh, really?
About the Black Death, called the Great Mortality. You'd probably like it. It was a little dry, but also interesting.
Well, what I love is that, have you ever looked at one of those maps on how far the plague spread?
No, but I just read a book about it.
So if you look at the maps, you'll notice that there are 2 places where the plague doesn't go. It didn't make its way into Vienna, and it didn't make its way into Poland, and there are 2 different reasons for that. One, because if you lived in Vienna and you were showing any kind of symptoms of the plague, they would lock you in your house and burn your house down with you alive in it. It didn't make it to Poland because that's where all the Jews lived, and the Jews were actually pretty clean compared to the Christians, which just lived in their own filth because for some reason they thought that was godly. Something about how being clean was vain or something.
Cleanliness was not next to godliness.
No, that's probably where it came from afterward, though. So, yeah, it didn't make it into Vienna and it didn't make it into Poland for 2 vastly different reasons. Which at the same time kind of makes it surprising that it got into Scandinavia, but at that point it had probably become so homogenized with Christianity going in there to take over.
Well, actually.
Oh, well, actually.
The plague, so it ended up sparking a fuck ton of anti-Semitism.
Yeah,
because
they thought that the Jews caused it.
Yeah, they thought people were pouring poison into wells and stuff, so they killed all the Jews, or a bunch of Jews. So yeah, it kind of was a Christian thing.
Because contrary to popular belief, the Vikings were also pretty clean.
Mm-hmm. They had pretty hairs.
Yeah, and they had Saturday was wash day. That was the day you cleaned your house, you did all your laundry, you scrubbed all your kids and made sure they were nice and clean. They set aside an entire day to get clean.
And weren't they buried with their combs or something?
Yeah. So we know that lice was a problem, but we also know that they really liked to comb and bleach their hair.
Which is part of the reason on shows like Vikings and shit, you have so many pretty hairstyles.
Yeah, because they were really into it.
That and epic fucking beards.
All the epic beards. And then you've got Floki, who can't really pull off either.
Yeah, well.
Poor Gustav Skarsgård, though. All of his brothers are like these huge Norse deities, and then he's Floki.
But I like Floki.
No, but you know what I mean, though.
Yeah. Like, I'm super behind in the show, but I like Floki.
All of the other Skarsgård kids are gorgeous, and then there's Gustav just kind of nerfing around.
Gustav versus Alexander.
Yeah. Bill's not bad looking either.
Yeah.
What I love is that Gustav plays someone who may or may not be descendant of Loki, while Stellan plays someone who was mind-controlled by Loki.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Come on.
It'd be kind of funny if those 2 characters hung out in your game.
I don't think we have a Selvig. I genuinely don't. I know we have Floki, but we don't have an Eric Selvig. We have Loki. And I don't know if they've ever come into contact.
That would be hilarious if all 3 were there.
That would be. I told you about the bachelor party, right?
You told me there was going to be one, something about whiskey and gunpowder?
Lots of guns, lots of whiskey, lots of drugs.
Okay, that was it.
Yeah. But, yeah, apparently it's for sure happening.
It's what?
It's for sure happening, which I love.
Oh, lordy.
Yeah. One of the characters I play in this ridiculous roleplay game is throwing a bachelor party for someone else. And it's going to be amazing because he's going to throw the bachelor party within the GTA universe. I'm so itchy. It's probably because it's so dry and full of smoke and ash everywhere.
I was gonna say, you didn't do the thing again, did you?
Nope.
Good. No chemical burning yourself.
Nope. No, actually, you were the first one in the shower since we bleached it.
Okay. I'll chemical burn myself.
Well, you were also taking a shower. You weren't soaking in it.
Yeah.
And it was the wrong kind of bleach. That was just regular old bleach. Not
bleach,
industrial.
bleach.
Yeah, bleach. Not industrial remove dye from porcelain bleach.
Yay.
Ow.
Oh, I did put my scissors back in there. How nice of me.
I love that. When I'm like, where is the thing? I can't find the thing. Oh, I put it away.
Well, I know I got him out while I was camping to do something. And I couldn't remember what.
Huh. Something's going on this page, and for some reason the ink goes darker on one page than it does on the other.
That's weird.
Yeah. Because I printed it at the same time. Did I get that wrong? No, I got that right.
No, you did it wrong.
No one will care. That's kind of my philosophy for a lot of things if I screw up. Like, if it's bad enough, I will stitch over it. If it's really bad, fine, I'll pull it out. But the vast majority of the time, no one will notice. I'm just going to go with this and call it good. Like that orange cat that I did for the kit. How I had accidentally measured the amount of plastic I'd need wrong. He doesn't have a hand, but you can't tell.
Ah, right. I'm just blah from coming back from camping and donating plasma today.
Oh, fun.
At least it was quick. There wasn't very many people there.
Yeah, I noticed that. Usually you're gone all day.
Yeah, well, it was a little bit of a blessing.
What were they playing?
Green Mile.
Really?
Yeah, which reminded me I haven't seen it since it came out, probably.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Have we heard anything more on whether or not we might have wanted to pre-buy the tickets for the movie this weekend?
Oh, yeah. I don't know, because I've been MIA.
I've been looking at a fire. So, this weekend, or apparently this month or something, my camera stopped recording. I didn't even notice that. So, yeah, apparently recently there was the anniversary, the 20th anniversary or something like that, 25th something, for Death Becomes Her. So, a theater down in Portland is throwing a big Death Becomes Her party, and we're gonna go see it.
I don't see anything listed. I think we were thinking maybe I would make you call and check. Because maybe you don't hate the phone as much as I do.
Fine, I'll call.
Okay.
I wonder when my phone or when my camera shut off.
I don't know.
I don't know either. That's why I really wanted the other one that's actually hardlined to be recording, but oh well.
Yeah. Well, I think it's time for me to go for the evening.
Okay.
For reasons.
For reasons. Yeah, I should probably eat something since a bowl of tomato soup was not really cutting it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is... It just shut off again. Okay. Apparently my battery's probably dead. So, apologize for my camera shutting off. I'm going to do that differently next time if I can, but it was an attempt. But thanks for stopping by. Thanks to Mary for sticking around with me, even though you just came off of a really busy weekend. We're doing this. It's 9:30 at night, and this is going up at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning. So, yeah. I'm going to be spending my night doing this. So, thanks for everybody for stopping by. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing, all that fun stuff, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.